So my presentation is on tight junctions, and so the overview is that cellular junctions are the intracellular bridges that provide contact between adjacent cells or between the cell and the extracellular matrix. And tight junctions belong to one of the three functional groups of cell junctions, specifically the oculating junctions. Oculating junctions have two different types of junctions, the tight and subtight, but we're focusing on tight junctions because they only belong to vertebrates. So the interactions are tight junctions are commonly found in the epithelia, which are the compacted cell sheets of epithelial tissue. And so now we're talking about the mechanism. So tight junctions have various proteins, but the very important two are transmembrane proteins, and they are the oclidin and the claudin. So these two are transmembrane proteins are what connect the two cells together. It occurs through sealing strands, and these sealing strands are composed of these transmembrane proteins. So the way it works or the way they connect the two cells is by these sealing strands that are composed bind to adjacent cell proteins that are similar, and when they bind together, they close that space between the plasma membranes. And then another important protein is the zooprotein. It is a peripheral protein that binds the strands to the cytoskeleton. And now we're going to talk about function. So the function of the tight junction is basically to serve as a barrier for the two cells, and it does to not as a barrier and not allow molecules to pass through it. Tight junctions specifically have two functions, a fence and gate. The fence function prevents the mixing of membrane proteins between membranes, and the gate function controls the passage of ions and solutes in between the cells. So the substances are transported through the cells by transcellular or paracellular transport. And sometimes these tight junctions can malfunction, and one of the informed diseases, and one of the diseases I found that can arise through the malfunction of a tight junction is a cancer. And what happens here is there's various ways how it can affect the tight junction, but they all kind of have the same purpose, which is to increase the permeability of the tight junction so that these malignant tumor cells that break off from the tumor can pass through the tight junction and spread, which is known as the metastasis. And a project or thing that I found relating to that was where they were testing a specific protein, the claudin 7. And this claudin 7 is important because it is one of the more important functions, proteins that helps the tight junction function. And so what they were doing is they were wanting to know if this claudin 7 protein, has any correlation to the leakiness or the high permeability of this tight junctions. So what they did is they wanted to test the levels, so they tested samples from healthy patients and patients who had cancer. And what they found is after running the mRNA through the RT-PCR, they found out that the patients with the cancer had lower levels of claudin 7 compared to the healthy patients. So from that, they can conclude that there is a correlation to low levels of claudin to a high permeability of the tight junction. And one of the questions I had was, actually I have two questions. So one of them is if anyone can find any other diseases besides cancer that can arise through malfunctioning of tight junctions, or if any advances have been made to improve or fix the high permeability that occurs when for these cancer cells to pass through the cell junction. And my works cited and end of the PowerPoint.